What up, y'all? Today, I wanted to talk to you about the antisocial, what they consider the sociopath, psychopath type category of the cluster B. Now, I feel like a lot of times narcissists are definitely on a spectrum, but sometimes they call these guys narcopaths because socio and psychopath are always narcissists, but not all narcissists are sociopaths and psychopaths. So I'm talking about the antisocial with the socio and psychopath, and sometimes they're labeled as narcopaths because they have both antisocial and narcissism, these are the worst two types probably that you could find, and they also run on a covert level. Typically they both always run on a covert level. In fact, these would be the ones that would fool you sometimes the most. At least out and about, not in the relationship, because the relationship you'll be getting beat up every day, just like the narcissist, even worse. But this is where it gets to a point to where they're very much malignant, sadistic, and I mean, they get off on that, and they also are to the point to where if not all of the cluster Bs hypothetically are dealing with demons or some kind of spiritual darkness spiritually, if it's outside of a personality disorder, which I believe to some degree they all are, but these two types would be definitely the ones that would be dealing with the spiritual issues on top of the psychological issues. But like I said, in my humble opinion, I have a difference of opinion from the psychotherapists and psychology and how they explain it. And a lot of us do that. I've spent a lot of time with people like this, or at least the ones that are very much destructive and have been in our lives our whole life before we woke. So these guys, they typically, just like the narcissist, become this between the ages of this starts culminating at least by the age of 5, and almost full on by the age of 12 to 13, but they cannot be diagnosed until at least the age of 18, right? But you're seeing so many signs of this. They've been doing this for a long time. So the first thing I want to say is don't ever feel guilty like you could have did something different, because these guys are to a degree, they've been doing this for so long before they met you, so there's nothing that you could have done to change anything in a relationship at this point if you're at least above 20 years old. I mean, it's ridiculous for you to beat yourself up about it. The best thing you can do is just be happy and glad that you awoke to the damage that it has been doing to your life. And the younger the better, right? So you can correct it sooner. But we're the generational curse breakers. We don't put up with that stuff, and we dealt with it for a long time, but we were able to be blessed to heed the call, to do the right things, or to be have grace placed on our life to where we can wake up to this stuff, because a lot of the generations past in our families and family history that were the empath, that was the enabler, did not know. And it could be, partially it could be that they allowed them to be enablers for that long. So, I mean, we don't know. We're put in a specific time and a specific place for a specific reason. Okay. I always say God, wine gets older, it gets better. And we're kind of living in the last days, and I believe that God saves the best wine for last. Just like in that wedding where Christ changed water into wine. But anyway, let's get back to narcissism. These guys have this mask, and what they do is and what happens in a lot of times in narcissism, I mean, they're just at a greater level because they are dealing with more and more deep, dark spirits. But why they're such energy vampires, and they become more when they get higher up, like to this level, because they have to feed more of this construct, and the construct is these masks. And so, they you have your mind, will, and emotions, right? And then you have your body, your flesh, okay? And then you have your spirit man. So what I think a lot of times what happens is your mind, will, and emotions, and your your flesh get to a place that and the fleshly stuff can be very addictive, right? Sex, drugs, alcohol, buying things, hoarding things, collecting things, anything, all of that stuff, controlling people, that's all addictive. There's anything could be an addiction. So let's face it, right? Well, but that's kind of what the flesh is, resemblance of. Now, if the flesh, and what happens in these situations is when they are growing up, they get to a point to where their flesh and their mind, will, and their emotions, they become in agreement, okay? And what they end up doing is blocking out the spiritual man, your spirit man, okay? And so what happens is they end up being so we are what do I always say? We're a spiritual being living in a physical experience, right? Okay, well, let's talk about the narcissist or the sociopath, psychopath. And so they're not a spiritual being because they put to death the spirit being, and that's my point. So they put to death the spirit being, so their mind is in full control. And so and it's gonna run off the flesh. Okay, so it's kind of like they shut down and condemn the spirit man, and that's what they put to death. And so they are and the mind is your egocentric section. That your mind is your ego, your pride, your ego. And so you get all of your good attributes from your spirit man. Okay, your mind is a tool. If it's operating with the spirit man, and the spirit man is in control, it can use the mind and the will and the emotions can work with the spirit man to control the flesh, and that's where you become powerful. I mean, as far as being a wonderful person, having a high vibration. Okay, so the vibration levels, if you don't understand that, there's a scale. You can look it up. It's from that David Hoffman guy that was like that astrophysicist or whatever in the wheelchair that passed away several years ago. Well, he created this scale, and the scale is by vibrations in humanity. Okay, so the bottom vibration is shame. Okay, that's like at a vibration level of 20. Okay, and then the vibration level opens up like a big cone. I'll show an example, a pictorial of it, maybe on one of my next podcasts. But it goes all the way up to like 1,000. Okay, and this is where you get your vibration. Like love is more in maybe the 500 range, or you're getting into a healthy level. Okay, but you can get all the way up to 7, 8, 900, like whatever. And you're running. You got to understand, the narcissist is running in a shame level. They wake up every morning in the shame level at a 20. Okay, and we were probably operating when we met them at, I don't know, maybe at least a 500. I mean, between a 500, 750, so I don't know. And that's why they're always saying raise your vibration, meaning the more you understand having love for yourself, having good boundaries, and staying away from negative people, operating from your true authentic self, from your spirit man, it will control the mind, will, and the emotions, and your flesh. Because when your flesh takes over with your mind, will, emotions, like it has with the narcissist, they're running on that beast mode, and it also leaves an option and an opening. Whenever you shut something down, there is always a vacuum for something negative to come in. When we're talking about these types of things in the spirit realm. So they're kind of like empty seaters. I mean, they're totally in the flesh, if you ever heard that. They don't care about anything about what they want, but what they want is what their addictions are, and what their addictions are controlled by the flesh. That is to say that they are of this world, and in this world they don't give a damn about anything spiritual. I mean, they don't really address it. It's because they have almost like a lack of it. They have turned it off. And when you turn it off, it's a vacuum for something evil to come in. And that's what happened, in my humble opinion. And that's why those brain centers are shut down. That's why they do not understand love and happiness and joy and peace, because those are high vibrations. And the vibrations is where they came up with the dimensions that they talk about. And there is some truth to this, because I have really spent a lot of time dwelling on when I had the experience with the one I had done a podcast on unmasking the female covert narcissist, and the spiritual stuff that I was seeing in that time period. In that it was a week-long period. I was seeing it on several people. I was seeing people staring me down and not blinking. And what I have come up with is that right before that occurred, I was just waking up to narcissism, what I was dealing with. And I had just got flung all of that energy onto me from her. And she did an energy switch. She did that projection, and I accepted it because I reacted. So I accepted all of her sin soul energy, I call it, her negative energy. And she took all of my, the essence of me, my good soul energy, and she walked away with it, right? So what I'm getting at is that I think why I was seeing all of these things and I was able to see all these things, of course God allowed it. But also, and if you need proof of like what would make sense for you guys, if you're not want to get into that category of things, well, I'll say this, and this is my point, is that I was walking around with her vibration because it was all over me. So either I had gotten pulled down so far that I could see all the narcissists around. And so the people that were staring back at me, they were of the same possession. This is deep, okay? And I think because I had that negative energy all over me, they probably all initially thought that I was on the same team as them. You know how they say they can always identify each other, and I think they really can. I mean, because it was spiritual that whole week, okay? And when I saw them staring at me, they wouldn't quit staring at me, is because I think what happened is because I was identifying them, or they were identifying me, but then they knew that it was not, I was not a true narcissist. I was just wearing the energy. So then the demon in them took over and was staring at me. I don't know, but something along those lines. But after that week, I think that what happened was, and why I never saw it again or had those experiences again, is because I think I had then recovered my vibration. I was starting to get healthy again from being away from the narcissist. And so that energy was burning off of me. And so I was growing back up to the vibration level that I had been at before. And so once I got past a certain point, I was probably all the way down to a 20 or something in the second dimension. I don't know. You're talking about almost hell itself. That's how it felt. And I was seeing narcissists staring at me all over the place. And so I don't know. It's like I was at their level for a time. When you get that energy switch and that energy thrown on you, listen, it's real, y'all. It's real and it's spiritual. I don't know how else to explain that. Take it how you want. I don't care what you believe. Take it how you want. But my point also is that they cannot. You can never help them, and you will never be anything good around them, and you will never do anything but get drained. Because when you have something that is at a 20, and that's why they always seek highly empathic people. When they talk about, oh man, you got all that energy, you got that vibration, you got that battery, you got that generator going, man, they want you. Yeah, they want you because they're at a 20, man, and they're at a 20, and you're at like a 750, they're gonna pull you down and it'll bring them up. That's just it. I don't know how much you guys understand or where you're at on the level of understanding this kind of stuff, but if I can make it very easy and very clear to you, they're not going to want to hang out with somebody that's at like a 300 or 400 because they have a 750 right there. And that's why they don't care what you look like, because at some point they just want the fuel, because they're addicted to the fuel, because the fuel makes them powerful, and they're addicted to the power as well. And the construct that they're addicted to has to be evil, because there's nothing they can do. They cannot do anything good. They always have to steal energy. And the reason why they will always keep stealing it, if you were to give them more and more and more and more and more, is because they're addicted to the power. Sorry, I'm screaming. I'm just passionate, man. This is really good stuff. But anyway, heading into work. And I just wanted to get this out because this is real. But anyway, I'm at, God, 15 minutes. I could talk forever, y'all. Well, give me a like, a subscription, and a thumbs up. Peace out. Love y'all. Stand tall, soldier up every day and forever. Till we meet again. Soldier up.